Minecraft's golden age was an unmistakable one. From 2011 to 2014, the game exploded in popularity, and each update was substantial. The game was evolving before our eyes. All that seemed to change though when Microsoft bought Mojang. Updates still came out, sure, but things didn't feel the same. Oftentimes, the 2016 Combat Update is cited as a landmark moment in Minecraft's development, officially solidifying that the golden age was no more. Does this mean that there were no more exciting updates? Absolutely not. The Nether update and Caves and Cliffs both stand out as incredible achievements from the developers at Mojang, and updates often overlooked in Update Aquatic and Village and Pillage change the game for the better in a multitude of thankless ways. However, even this aspect of Minecraft has faded away with Mojang's drop system, where more frequent, much smaller updates have been released for quite some time now. My name is Barlex, and last year I asked the question, are we about to enter a new golden age of Minecraft? Now that we're over 1 year removed from the question, we'll first look into what Minecraft would need to look like to call it a golden age, observe how the game has changed since we first asked that question, examine reasons for why we are or are not currently in a golden age, and look to the future for what could create a new golden age of Minecraft. Let's start out by defining a golden age. To officially say we are in a new golden age of Minecraft, the game has to feel like it did back during its original golden age. I don't mean in the nostalgia bait way, but in a way that can be measured. Here are two main criteria I've come up with to gauge whether or not we are in one. First, the game needs updates that substantially change how the game is played and add new ways to engage with Minecraft's core mechanics, or introduce new mechanics altogether. Next, there needs to be genuine excitement in the Minecraft community for new updates. If you picked any random update during the Golden Age, you'll find something monumental that you can't imagine the game without. Take for example the two smallest updates during this time, 1.1 and 1.6. Minecraft 1.1 added spawn eggs, super flat worlds, and beaches. Minecraft 1.6 added horses, leads, coal blocks, and carpets. These were extremely tiny updates sandwiched between monumental shifts in gameplay. 1.1 was released less than 2 months after Minecraft 1.0 added the end, enchanting, potions, brewing, villagers, mushroom islands, nether fortresses, new nether mobs, snow golems, and hardcore mode. Then, less than 2 months after 1.1 was released, 1.2 added jungles, iron golems, ocelots, redstone lamps, abandoned mine shafts, and more. The horse update in 1.6 was less than 3 months after the redstone update, and 4 months before an update that added 11 new biomes and new world generation. This is what a golden age update cycle looks like. Obviously, over 17 years after Minecraft's first release, you can't shake around Minecraft like you could in its infancy and golden age, but you can still add new things or add new mechanics to existing areas. I mean, look at villages. In September of 2011, villages were added to Minecraft. By August of the next year, the villages were now populated by villagers, and you could trade with them for emeralds and other goods. Villages went from a place that was neat to walk through and could give you some resources, to an area you'd want to fortify and engage with repeatedly throughout your time playing. The community during this time was also ecstatic and anxiously awaiting each update. As someone whose Minecraft journey began in 2012 on the Xbox 360, it's hard to describe what it felt like to see that update prompt pop up on your screen, and then you'd go to school the next day with the new features being the only conversation at the lunch table. Minecraft doesn't need its updates to take over the world as they once did to signal that a new golden age is upon us, but they need to generate buzz that attracts players beyond seeing a video of a new feature on YouTube Shorts before scrolling away and not thinking about it again. Now, let's observe what Minecraft is now. Since we first asked the question of whether or not we were entering a golden age, Minecraft has released 6 drops. Farm animals have gotten new biome variants, you can fly around with a rideable Happy Ghast, new tools, building blocks, and golems can be built with copper, a new weapon was added in a spear, zombies can ride horses and camels, a new underwater mob in the Nautilus was added with a zombified version, multiple baby versions of mobs were added, and most recently, sulfur caves were added underground featuring new blocks, springs, and a physics-based mob in the sulfur cube. Back in the original Golden Age video, I pointed to the drops mimicking the earlier life cycle of Minecraft's development and giving the ability to add and fix small things while working on a monumental update behind the scenes, all as indicators of a new Golden Age being just beyond the horizon. However, it's been nearly 2 years since Mojang first announced the move to a drop system, and that big update hasn't come yet. These drops have had some interesting additions, but if I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't played much of any Minecraft in the last year. Nothing in these drops have excited me enough to start a new playthrough or even boot up the game to check them out for myself until I started writing this video, and even then I'm left saying, alright, now what? Let's go back to how we define the Golden Age. Could you imagine the game without villagers, command blocks, redstone, or even something as small as a spawn egg? No. Now, can you imagine the game without spears, copper armor, or even trial chambers? Yeah, I can. With that being said, obviously I can, because I played the game long before their additions, so let's look at something more recent. Can you imagine going to the Nether without 2020's Nether update? Can you imagine heading down into the caves or even world generation in general without the Caves and Cliffs update? Not really. They're monumental changes that truly matter, and even the smaller additions that match the scale of drops in the sense of new wood types found in the Nether and underground vegetation, are things that completely change how you play the game and engage with mechanics. You don't necessarily have to stock up on wood before going into the Nether anymore, because if you know you'll be in or near a Crimson or Warped Forest, you'll be fine. Your strategy in the caves changed with their new size, and exploration looks different when vegetation can not only act as landmarks, but also light and food in the way of your journey underground. These new mechanics though, they either feel like they have only one use, or they have no practical uses at all. The new looks for mobs are neat, and the shelves and copper building blocks are a welcome addition, but just so many changes feel like surface level gimmicks, not features that bring players to engage with the game in meaningful ways. It feels like I'm coming at the game too hard, and we'll look at some positives in a second, but I need to make this point before we move on. Jens Bergensen, or Jeb as he's mainly known to the Minecraft community, wrote Minecraft Game Design, nicknamed the Green Book. This book is given to every Mojang employee in order to keep Minecraft style the way that it should be, so updates do not alienate or disconnect from Minecraft's core identity. There is one main rule of game design I want to call on here when looking at updates added since I last made a video on the Golden Age. That is the rule that items should be multi-purpose. From the man himself, quote, "The player's inventories are already quite over-encumbered with the hundreds of items that exist in Minecraft. When we add even more to the pool, we should think hard if we can make them multi-purpose or have a broader use case." End quote. Reading this paragraph and looking at the current state of the game is frustrating, to say the least. While Jeb does give an exception if the gameplay mechanic is sufficient enough, like the Totem of Undying, there have been a few blocks and items that only have one use and do not fit this exception. Let's go back even earlier than the drops to look at trial chambers. The mace is a weapon that can be crafted from breeze rods and a heavy core. The breeze rods are obtained from defeating a breeze and can be used to craft a mace, duplicate the flow armor trim, create a potion of wind charging, and craft into wind charges. This is a good example of multiple features. The heavy core, on the other hand, which came out in the same update, can craft the mace. And that's it. What's funny is the text around the heavy core is a different color, signifying its rarity and importance. It's been over 2 years since the Tricky Trials update, and not one drop has added a new feature to the heavy core. It's not just the heavy core either, armadillos have little to no use, and they even break another rule that Jeb wrote. In the same Green Book, Jeb wrote, "New features need to be respectful of existing ones." Turtle Scoot was already an item in the game, and it had a couple of limited uses. Why not just use dog armor that way? Why do we need another mob and another near identical item taking up inventory space? Now, I selected these two features in particular to nitpick because it's been quite some time since their additions to the game and no additional uses have come out yet. But if you look at recent drops, you can find the same trends with new features, blocks, and items. If you couldn't tell by the last few minutes, no, I don't think we're in a golden age of Minecraft. I was worried it was my own disillusion with the game or burnout after making 6 months worth of Minecraft videos on my channel in 2025, but after talking with my friends, most of them agree. One told me that he only plays modded Minecraft, and nowadays, the base game is a game for babies, and adults use mods to make the game fun. Another friend told me he stopped playing altogether, and a third friend told me the last feature he remembers being added was the Warden. Again, while the drops have changed some parts of the game, nothing has truly changed how you engage with your Minecraft experience. Not only that, but the community isn't nearly as excited for new features as they were in the Golden Age. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everyone needs to be united in singing Mojang's praises, but the constant dissatisfaction from people who've been craving an end update, features that actually impact how they play survival mode, or even just a Bedrock version that isn't riddled with bugs is something to take note of. I've seen people online excited for features like the Happy Gas when it was announced, and cushions have gotten some attention on social media, but there hasn't been an update or announcement that has gotten people genuinely, fully excited for Minecraft in a long time. Now, this video is far more negative than the first one I put out, and I apologize to those of you who remember me from my more hopeful and positive videos. The good news is, however, you're about to like this part. Minecraft still has a chance to enter a golden age, and I still think it's going to happen. There are two indicators of this I want to call attention to. First, let's look at the most recently announced game drop. While writing this video, Mojang announced their newest game drop, which will add a new biome full of autumn vibes, a new structure that spawns in multiple biomes in the abandoned campsite, wool stairs and slabs, a straw bed which allows you to sleep without resetting your spawn, and a cushion which can be placed on any flat surface and allows you to sit down. The new blocks of wool, sleeping without resetting your spawn, and sitting down are all things the community has been asking for years, and watching the crowd's reaction during TwitchCon and seeing social media buzz around the announcement was nice. It wasn't fully a golden age reaction, and it's not as popular as they were, but it was a little reminiscent of when major updates were announced back in the golden age and seeing people's reactions. Mojang announced a drop that is almost exclusively composed of features the community has been asking for, and executed them pretty darn well. While the drop is still quite small in scope, the community getting multiple requests in one update could hopefully bode well for updates down the road, adding other largely requested features, and perhaps an eventual end update. Next, and most importantly, Xbox has begun a major restructuring under new CEO Asha Sharma. I have mixed emotions about a handful of Xbox's decisions over the last couple of months, but for this video's purposes, I want to discuss the major restructuring announced on July 6th. Sharma announced a wave of layoffs, particularly noting that some Xbox branches had 14 layers of management. She also stated that Mojang would report directly to her, not go through any management grapevine. What we also learned from this memo and subsequent press releases were two major points for Minecraft. First, when Microsoft purchased Minecraft, profits for the game were used to fund Microsoft's other gaming divisions up until today. This means the funds that could have, and probably should have, been reinvested into Mojang's development were dispersed to subsidize other areas of Microsoft's catalog that were far less profitable at best or not profitable at worst. Following this revelation, we learned that Microsoft will be heavily investing in Mojang to turn Minecraft into a major growth engine and hopefully a platform that can rival Roblox. While the multiplayer and microtransaction implications of this announcement may raise concerns, the idea that funds will be properly allocated to Minecraft's development, along with added pressure from strategic restructuring and direct oversight from a new CEO, brings me a great deal of excitement and hope for the future. If things go right here, we can truly see the benefits of bolstering Minecraft's development instead of letting it coast by while using its profits to fund other games keeping Xbox afloat. Another exciting prospect, and what I believe added pressure from Sharma to push Minecraft forward, is that other projects have snuck up trying to do the same thing. Hytale was released in January of 2026 with the goal of becoming not only a game but also a social platform. Being made by the same people who created Hypixel, this team knows how to do a social platform, and they're essentially making Minecraft but easier to run a server and multiplayer, while also boosting server and modding tools beyond what Minecraft currently offers. While Hytale will likely never topple the behemoth that is Minecraft, Sharma wants Minecraft to solidify its place in the gaming world and then compete with other major platforms. Minecraft has added some cute and fun things over the last couple of years, but the last substantial change to the game was in 2021 with Caves and Cliffs Part 2. With the restructuring of Xbox, added funding to Mojang, and direct oversight with ambitions to boost Minecraft into a growth leader for all of Microsoft, there is real cause for excitement over the possibility of a new golden age of Minecraft being just around the corner. Pair that with the community celebrating and hyping up new features that have been heavily requested over the last few years, and we very well likely could have something special brewing. Heck, on the announcement video, I didn't even see any comments that said fix Bugrock. Keep an eye out for Minecraft over the next year because we just might enter a new golden age. What do you think? Do you think we're in a golden age of Minecraft right now? Do you think we'll see one in the future? Or do you think we'll never see one again? What do you think of the restructuring of Xbox, and do you think it'll come to the benefit or detriment for Minecraft? Are the new drops exciting to you, or do you share my lack of enthusiasm for many of the features there? Let me know that and more in the comments down below. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Barlex, and I've been away from YouTube for almost a year now. I'm back though, and I plan on doing deep dives like this into Minecraft as well as a bunch of other topics that interest me, and they might interest you too. If this style of video covering topics across gaming sounds like something you'd like to watch, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for what's next, and like the video to tell YouTube this was indeed worth your time. That just about does it for me, so until next time, y'all take care.